What's going on, duelists? It's your boy Nick, bringing you today on the channel an update to my Vendread deck profile for the post-Supreme Darkness format. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. My name is Nick. We do Yu-Gi-Oh content mainly focused around rogue and casual decks alike. If that's the kind of Yu-Gi-Oh that you're interested in, then I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We actually hit our goal of 2,000 subscribers, and I tell you, I couldn't be more excited and happy for that. I appreciate all of you so much who have taken the time to subscribe and like my videos, comment, and share my stuff. I honestly can't even believe it. I remember when I started this channel, I really didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and here we are, like not a couple years, a year and a half later, and I'm already at 2,000 subs. It means the absolute world to me. And to show my appreciation for all of you duelists who have subscribed to the channel and have watched my content, liked my videos, commented, and etc., I do, for the first time on the channel, want to do a giveaway to show my appreciation. So I will be giving away a brand new unopened copy of the two-player starter set that came out towards the end of last year. This is perfect for any of you duelists who are just starting to get into the game. This has a lot of really interesting cards featured inside, as well as some other pretty cool stuff. So I want to be, excuse me, I'm just so excited I can't even speak. I will be giving this away to one lucky subscriber. I will leave more details in regards to the giveaway towards the end of this video. But with the intro and all that out of the way, Vendread. This is a deck that I hold near and dear. I love the theme. I love the fact that they're zombies. And it's just, I've had a lot of fun with this list, and we got a lot of really good indirect zombie support in Supreme Darkness. And a lot of these cards are almost custom made for Vendread. So I definitely wanted to bring you guys a very cool profile. Now, this is a budget deck list. It is a 60 card list, but it's not going to be using any crazy, like, Fiendsmith packages, although I could do that. I chose not to keep the deck more on the budget-friendly side for those of you duelists who do want to put this together, on a cheaper budget, or so to speak. So keep that in mind. However, if you duelists want to see a more, like, competitively focused or competitively viable variant of the deck list, featuring Fiendsmith, for example, then let me know down in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the 60-card Vendread deck profile. So we are starting things off with the Ritual monsters, of course, of which we're on 2 copies of Vendread Slayer, followed by 2 copies of Vendread Battlelord. We are running these at 2 of, specifically because, in my opinion, they're the best ones to summon because they have really strong graveyard effects when their Ritual Summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard. In Slayer's case, he lets you add a Ritual spell from deck to hand, and then you send a Vendread monster from deck to grave. And then in Battlelord's case, he allows you to add a Ritual monster from deck to hand, and then you send a Vendread monster from deck to grave. So they help kind of refund your cost of summoning, them, because obviously Ritual summoning is pretty costly. So we not maxed out, but we play 2 and 2 of these respectively, because in my honest opinion, they're the most important. So the ones that you want to get access to the most frequently, they help jumpstart your plays and help increase the deck's consistency overall. Then, because this is a 60-card variant, I'm choosing to play 1 copy of Vendread Chimera, followed by 1 copy of Scavenger, and 1 copy of Vendread Executor as our remaining rituals of choice. Again, the rituals, in the grand scheme, you don't want to draw them. Vendread's gimmick is cool because they let you ritual summon not only from the hand, but the graveyard as well, which is obviously really crazy. And I felt that the 7-card ritual package just fits for the deck. I mean, do you need to play like Chimera? No, but again, this is a 60-card deck, and with some of the new support, I found that in the grind game scenario, you run out of, like, rituals pretty quickly, but you don't want to max out on anything because at the end of the day, they're still bricks. Like, drawing a Slayer is only good in situations where you can actually ritual summon it. Otherwise, it's just a dead draw. Like, they don't really give you value in the hand in that regard. But this is the package that I chose to run with. Again, you don't have to run the Chimera. I'm just choosing to run it because it was either run a 3rd Slayer, but just for the sake of variety, I decided to play the Chimera. It's a ritual that I know a lot of Vendread duelists tend to not include in their lists, but given that this is a 60-card variant, I felt like I had the space to accommodate this, and to be honest, it's actually not bad, especially with the new field spell, a little bit of a spoiler that we have for the theme, which we'll talk about a little bit more when we get to the spells. But this is going to wrap up our ritual count, so 2 Slayer, 2 Battlelord, 1 Chimera, 1 Scavenger, and 1 Executor. Like I said, it's been working out pretty well with these ratios. Now on to the non-ritual Vendread monsters, of which a lot of duelists are probably going to give me some hate for this, but I'll explain my logic here momentarily. We're all just playing one-ofs of each and every non-ritual Vendread. Now, I will die on this hill if I have to. I am a firm believer that you do not want to play more than one-ofs of any of these cards, including Scar. I've seen too many Vendread lists that play too many of these, and these cards are the absolute worst to draw. They are bricks. They do not help you, like, get the ball rolling, so to speak. They're not starters. They're not even extenders. I mean, from the graveyard they are, but some of them have to meet certain conditions, which are a little harder to achieve than others. Ideally, you don't want to be drawing these because they don't actually help you get in access to your rituals. Like, they're not starters in that regard, including Scar. Like, I understand Scar is probably the best non-ritual Vendread that the deck has, but again, in hands where you're not able to get Scar to the graveyard, Scar is just a brick. It's just a card that sits in your hand unless you have a means to get it to grave, which, again, believe it or not, you won't always have means to do so. And it's just a one-of. Like, once you get one of these, you have so many ways to get this card to the graveyard now, especially with the new indirect support that we got in Supreme Darkness, that once you get one of this in grave, it's in rotation, it'll constantly revive itself. Just, you know, as you play the archetype, how it's intended to be played. Every time a monster is tributed, Scar will summon himself from grave to field. Now, he does lock you into Vendreads while he's on the board when that occurs, but again, that's not really an issue. But all the Vendread non-rituals, they give inherited effects to the ritual monsters when used as tribute fodder from the field specifically. Everybody here gives a Vendread ritual an additional effect, except for Scar. But again, you really just want to play one-ofs of all these. And again, like I said, I will die on this hill. I think all these cards are very terrible draws for the most part. You really just want to get them to the graveyard with the help of your Slayer and Battlelord graveyard effects, and, you know, with other generic support. And then, you know, revive them either with their own effects back to field or use some of the other Vendread ritual spells to get them into play. That way you can ritual summon them by tributing them from field, and they can grant their additional effects to the Vendread rituals. We'll breeze through briefly what they do. Revenant allows a Vendread ritual the ability to quick effect target a special summon monster and banish it once per turn. Houndhorde allows the Vendread ritual to target a spell trap the opponent controls and banish it as a quick effect. Striges allows the Vendread monster, if it battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, we can draw a card and discard a card. Core grants our Vendread ritual targeting protection, and Anima grants the Vendread ritual the ability to banish any monster that it destroys by battle. So I kind of like the build-a-boss monster aspect that the theme has to offer. I just wish that it was executed a bit better, because like I said, in practice, you know, a lot of these cards aren't ideal draws. And despite the theme being really cool, I just wish there was a lot of things that they could have done better and simplified stuff. And this is why I said that the deck isn't obviously meta relevant. It's more of a very rogue, casual, fun deck that I just, you know, have a soft spot for and I wanted to bring to the channel. And like I said, so enough rambling about these guys. Like I said, they're all one-ofs. I know some people are going to disagree with that, but I'm telling you right now, I've play tested the living crap out of this deck. You do not want to play more than one-ofs of any of those monsters, Scar included. And I will argue with anybody who wants to say otherwise. But moving on, now we actually have some starters. Unfortunately, though, these are not the archetypal variety. We have to kind of rely on generic zombie stuff in order to get the ball rolling with the deck, which is a little sad. I wish there was a Vendread non-ritual that, like, we could search an engine that allowed us to get our plays going. And that's actually what this card is, if only it had Vendread in the name. But Dark Necromancer is a new card from Supreme Darkness, as well as another new card from Supreme Darkness is a playset of Volcarion, the Rotting Phoenix. So we'll start with Unizombie, obviously the old tried and true, reliable, best zombie normal summon in the game. Just, you know, Foolish Burial on legs, level modulation, also helps you get bricks out of your hand potentially, so very good as a pseudo starter for the theme. But Dark Necromancer here is the guy that really steals the show, in my opinion. Like I said, the only thing this card is missing is the word Vendread somewhere in his name, because it would have been chef's kiss if that was the case. But beggars can't be choosers. So what Dark Necromancer is a level 4 Dark Zombie, and if he's normal or special summoned, you can send a Fiend or Zombie Ritual monster from your hand or deck to grave. Then you can add a ritual spell from the deck to your hand. Now this circles back to why we're playing such a high count of Vendread rituals, you know, Vendread Chimera included, because over time, in order for you to search a ritual spell, you have to send a Vendread ritual, or a zombie ritual, excuse me, from the deck to the graveyard. And if you don't have one to send, then you're not, like, Dark Necromancer kind of, his value diminishes over the course of the game. So that's why I'm kind of running the ratio of Vendread rituals that I am. Some might disagree, but in practice, given that this is a 60 card list, it's been working out great. He also has another effect where if he's banished, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower Fiend or Zombie monsters and special summon it. That effect is really strong because, as some of you may know, or some of you who don't know, all of the Vendread non-ritual monsters, when they use their own effects to revive themselves from the graveyard, they will get banished when they leave the field. So you're oftentimes stuck with like losing a lot of your Vendreads out of rotation as the duel progresses. And Necromancer is just a very easy way to get them back into rotation so you can continually give your rituals the inherited effects, making them that much more proactive. But what I like about Necromancer is that he can also target himself in the banish zone and special himself back, which just gives you like an endless suite of recursion, which is really strong. And then again, new out of Supreme Darkness is a playset of a new zombie extender, Volcarion the Rotting Phoenix, a level 4 Dark Zombie tuner. If you control a zombie, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then during your main phase, you can return this card from the field to the hand, and then special summon one zombie monster from your hand. You can use each effect of Volcarion once per turn. So not only is this a zombie extender that honestly zombies have never had before, but it also allows you to get some bricks, potential bricks out of your hand by returning itself from field to hand and special summoning any zombie in your hand, which is really cool because, again, this is a 60 card list, and a little bit of a spoiler, we are playing a Zombie World package, and that package does involve us running some number of higher level zombies that can tend to be a bit bricky at times, and Volcarion helps unclog the hands, you know, that this deck can produce like that. So I say max out on all three of these cards. They're incredibly good. Just my only, you know, gripe would be that none of them are Vendread in name, which is a little annoying because that means that their searchability is obviously very diminished within archetype. So that, moving on from our starters, now moving into some more generic zombie good stuff. The one Al Ghul Mazera, the one Doom King Ballardrock, one Changshi the Spirit Owl, one copy of Necro World Banshee, one copy of Mizuki, one copy of Shinobi Necro, one copy of Mad Mauler, and one copy of Glow Up Bloom to complete our, you know, generic zombie good stuff suite. All of these are one-ofs. None of them are starters necessarily. Some of them are extenders. But again, these aren't cards that are going to get the ball rolling necessarily, so you don't really want to max out on them. Obviously, you know, Doom King Ballardrock, Necro World Banshee, and Glow Up Bloom are all pretty much part of the Zombie World package, which is strong. Mizuki's just here as kind of a pseudo extender. Then you have other like tuner extenders like Shinobi Necro, Mad Mauler, and then Al Ghul Mazera is basically just very good protection, and he can also recur himself from the banish zone because he will banish himself to protect your zombies from destruction by battle or card effect, which is really nice. And then Changshi the Spirit Owl is also just a foolish burial on legs, but if banished, he can banish another zombie from grave to special himself, which is obviously really cool because he has some really unique synergy with Dark Necromancer, which I find pretty ridiculous. So that rounds out our zombie suite. Now moving into the non-engine that we choose to play in the main deck, we have a playset of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Pretty self-explanatory here. Ash is just a very good catch-all in the format right now. And then we're also on a Bestial package consisting of one Magnamut, one Baldrake, and 3 copies of Druisworm. Not only are Bestials very strong in the format right now, being able to help hit decks like any Fiendsmith variants, but within our own engine, so to speak, with cards like Dark Necromancer, the Bestials provide us a very easy way to banish Necromancer from our own graveyard, triggering his effect when banished to recover any banished zombies back to our side of the field and get the ball rolling. So the Bestials not only function as great extenders for us, but also really strong disruption for our opponent. And then moving on with some of the non-engine that we play, that rounds out the monsters, by the way. Now we're moving into the spells, but starting off with the non-engine spells, we run 3 Droplet and then 1 copy of Called by the Grave to round out the non-engine for the deck. Again, The deck does have a pretty hefty engine requirement, because obviously I'm choosing to play a lot of Vendread related cards. Now you don't have to go as hard as I did on the Vendread stuff, but it does help, in my opinion, with consistency. So obviously that's a bit of a trade-off, because that means you have to run less non-engine slots, unfortunately. But so far it's been working out fine in testing. Now moving on to some of our ritual spells, of which we play triple copies of Origin. Still the best ritual spell in my opinion, giving you the most generic ability to summon a Vendread ritual, and offering protection to Slayer by banishing itself from the graveyard. And then we have 2 copies of Evolution, followed by 2 copies of Ravenous. So again, we have 7 ritual monsters. We also have 7 ritual spells in the deck, and I'm pretty content with the ratio 3-2-2. I was messing around with an additional copy of Evolution, so it was 3-3-2 at one point, but I found that in testing, the value of Vendread Evolution really diminishes, turn after turn, because the real strength of this card is allowing you to foolish a Vendread monster from deck to grave to perform a ritual summon. But obviously you run out of targets very quickly, especially since you're playing a lot of 1-ofs. So I found that the 2-of is just perfect in my opinion. Origin is really the one you want to be using in a grind, and then Ravenous is the one you want to be using towards the end of your combo to get a specific Vendread on board so you can grant one of your rituals that specific inherited effect. So overall very cool there. Now we're going to be moving in to the remaining Vendread stuff. We have 1 copy of Vendread Charge, pretty much an E-Telly for the deck, but again, all of the non-ritual Vendreads aren't very good, and you do have to send a zombie to grave from hand or field for this card's cost, so it's like a -2 for a body that doesn't really do much other than just give a ritual and inherited effect. So as a 1-of, this card is perfectly fine. You can recycle it with one of your extra deck cards, which we'll talk about momentarily. But brand new to the theme and fresh out of Supreme Darkness is a playset of the new field spell Delta of Invitation. This field spell effectively replaces the Vendread field spell, Vendread Knights. To me, that card was never that great to begin with. You had to discard to get a search for a Vendread monster only, and it was again, none of the Vendread monsters really did anything in your hand. So it just, you were going -1 for a search that again didn't give you much value. This card, however, completely shits all over the other archetypal field spell, in the sense that upon activation, this card allows you to Foolish Burial a level 5 or higher zombie from deck to grave. So that could be any of your Vendread rituals, that could be Scar the Vendread, or if you don't need access to Vendread stuff, that can also be some of your non-archetypal zombie-related support, like Doom King, like Changshi the Spirit Owl, to name a few, Al Ghul Mazera even. This card is just cracked, just being effectively another copy of Foolish Burial. But in addition to that, if you control a zombie monster, this field spell allows you to produce a level 5 zombie token to your side of the field for absolutely free, which circles back to another reason as to why we're playing Vendread Chimera as a ritual option in our main deck, because you contribute tokens for ritual summons, obviously. And the token that Delta of Invitation summons is a level 5 token specifically, which means we can take the token that this field spell produces for us for free and turn that into a ritual that offers the board some protection, which I think is pretty cool and something that shouldn't be overlooked. And just gives us another more proactive body. In addition to that, this card, if a monster is added from the graveyard back to either player's hand, this field spell can add itself back to our hand as well. So an insane spell. Definitely want to max out on this in any zombie-related build moving forward. And then obviously, you guys already know we're on the Doom King package with the Zombie World, so we're on 2 Zombie Worlds in the main deck. The reason why we're playing 2 in the main is because there are times when you Zombie World lock early, but you want to activate a Delta of Invitation to get some plays going, which means you'll need the second copy to be able to use off your Necroworld Banshee later in the duel. So that's why we're on the 3 Delta 2 Zombie World ratio. And then to round out the remaining main deck is 2 copies of another brand new zombie-specific spell from Supreme Darkness, Curse of the Ancient Turtle. This has you banishing a zombie from hand or grave for cost to foolish any zombie from deck to grave. In addition to that, if a zombie monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from grave to special summon any zombie from your deck with 2,000 or less defense. Absolutely amazing card. And then we do play the 1 Foolish Burial to round out our spells. Very good zombie-specific support, though, in Supreme Darkness, surprisingly. And then to round out the last 2 cards in the main, again, this is a 60-card main deck. 1 Vendread Revolution and 1 Angel Statue Azaroon, because we are playing a Scylla Hat Rabbit in the extra deck, so a bit of a spoiler. So that rounds out the main deck. Now moving into the extra deck, of which we're going to breeze through relatively quickly. Just a suite of some really good zombie-related synchros. We have 1 copy of Immortal Dragon, very good Foolish Burial. 1 Cypher Lord Omega, who's pretty much an honorary zombie. 1 copy of Skeletal Dragon Felgrind. 1 copy of Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord. And we also do play the 1 Bestial Dispotter, because we are playing Bestials, and a lot of our zombies happen to be level 4 tuners, which means like something like a Unizombie that's activated his effect at least once, or the new Volcarion, the Rotting Phoenix, plus a Bestial can easily make us a Dissipator, which is obviously a very strong card, and kind of looks like a zombie in his own right. His artwork is really nightmare fuel. But moving on, we do play 1 copy of Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons, and 1 Vampire Sheridan as our rank 6 Xyzes of choice. This is just really good Graveyard Disruption, and Dhampir Vampire Sheridan is really good non-destruction removal. And then for our links, we're on 2 copies of Add Vendread Savior. Card's name becomes Slayer on field. He's also a Foolish Burial in the damage step, and can also cycle back a Vendread card from the graveyard back to our hand every single turn. So 2 copies of Add Vendread Savior, best zombie link in the game. 1 copy of Vampire Sucker. 1 copy of the brand new Flying Mary. This is a new generic zombie link monster from the previous set, Rage of the Abyss. Very cool card there. 1 Scylla Hat Rabbit, and then for the remaining links is 1 Vampire Fascinator, 1 Yuki-Onna the Icicle Mayakashi, and then to round out the last link is 1 Yuki-Onna the Absolute Zero Mayakashi, to round out our 15-card extra deck. And moving into the side now, again, side deck is always up to personal preference. But I built my side to kind of try to counter Malice to some degree, as well as kind of tunnel even harder on the Zombie World suite for matchups where it hurts them. Because I think Zombie World is pretty strong in this format, because it just hurts any Fiendsmith related deck. Because obviously they can't do any of their Fiendsmith line under Zombie World, which is pretty strong in my opinion. But we have a playset of Chaos Hunter, 2 copies of Zombie Necronize, and a Change of Heart. Zombie Necronize is like Change of Heart at home. Really good, though, if you have Zombie World on field. We have 1 copy of Duster. We do play the 3rd Zombie World in the side, so for matchups where it really hurts them, we can side into a 3rd copy of it. Up next is 3 copies of Metaverse. I don't know where my 3rd Metaverse is, so I'm just substituting the Demise of the Land in the meantime, but realistically, this should just be a 3rd Metaverse. And again, this is to help you turbo into your Zombie World lock, because again, it does hurt a decent amount of decks, this format. We're also on a playset of Return of Zombies, a really strong non-targeting, non-destruction removal trap for any deck that you can successfully lock under Zombie World. And then we do play the 1 Vendread Reorigin in the side for when we know we're going first. This is a pretty strong trap for Vendread as far as removal is concerned. So that wraps up my updated Vendread deck list for the post-Supreme Darkness format. Hopefully you duelists enjoyed that. Like the video, comment down below on what you thought. Also, let me know down in the comments if you want to see a more competitively viable version of this deck with the Fiendsmith package potentially. And also, if you guys want to see combos and test hands with this deck, then also let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. If you want to see that, I will be glad to bring you duelists that additional content if you so wish. But now that we got all that out the way, let's talk a little bit more about the giveaway that I would like to do. So, the giveaway is not sponsored by YouTube. This is just me, to show my appreciation to all of you who've taken the time to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we reached our 2,000 subscriber goal. I'm going to make another goal to try to reach 3,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. If we can try to hit that, I'll be generous. I'll say if we can hit 3K subs by, let's say July. We'll say July. If we can hit another 3,000 subs by July, that'll be a really cool goal to hit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you duelists 1 week from today. You'll have to like this video, comment down below, just whatever you want. Comment, what you thought about the deck profile. Comment any decks you might want to see or be interested in seeing to be eligible for the giveaway. What I'm going to do is I have my Discord information linked to my channel description now. So you can actually join. I have a Discord server up for this channel specifically. I can contact any of you duelists there if you have any further questions. But what we'll do is you have to like the video, be a subscriber of the channel, comment on this video down below, and I'm going to select a subscriber at random from the comments, and I will be contacting you through Discord. So make sure that A, you have to have a Discord, and B, make sure that you accept the invite to my Discord server, which again is linked in my channel description. And like I said, I will be selecting a winner within a week from today, which I believe is February 3rd. That's next Wednesday, for me at least. I think it's February 3rd. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I'll select a winner exactly a week from today. Again, in order to be eligible, you have to have liked the video, be a subscriber, and just comment down below what you like about Vendread or what you like about the deck, and why you think you would enjoy having this 2-player starter set. So with that being said, this is Nick hitting that end phase. I want to thank you all again so much for helping me reach my 2K subscriber goal. Hopefully you duelists are excited about the giveaway. I know it's not much, but again, it's just something for me to show my appreciation, because you know, I care about you guys, and it just meant the world to me that we actually hit that goal. So it's obviously really cool. And yeah, stay tuned for more really awesome content post-Supreme Darkness. I have a bunch of things in the works. I know it's been a minute since I posted my last video. That was actually partly due to me falling pretty ill. I was actually in the hospital for a little bit. But I'm okay now, so I'm back on my grind and ready to hit the ground running. So like I said, I'm glad to be back, and thank you all so much for your continued support. And like I said, we're going to be riding this high for a little bit, so I'm excited about the giveaway. Like I said, make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and I will be randomly selecting the winner in a week's time. And yeah, that's about it. That's enough rambling from my end. So with that being said, this is Nick hitting that end phase. Peace.